Ray Behan, Property Options. Let's drill into the mechanics of how this whole thing works. Where did all this come from? Look right behind me, and as you can see, all of that land is being developed, and some of that land isn't yet developed. So here's how that works. It goes like this. You're looking now at these properties. All of that land with biggest developers in Australia was actually put under what we call a property option. In other words, they signed an agreement with the landowner, promised him more value than the property is actually worth at that time, and sat with those properties for literally 5 to 10 years. That's where the whole strategy that we call property options came from. Now, the goal for you is this. You don't have to be worried about 20,000 lot subdivisions and 5,000 lot subdivisions and 1,000 lot subdivisions. You actually don't have to go that big. You can actually start to cut your teeth on this whole thing and still make massive profits by doing it with just single lots and then working your way up to bigger lots, exactly like you see here right now. That's where the strategy came from. It's called property options, and it allows property developers to take ownership of a property without buying it and paying for it and leave it sitting there while they value add and make profit along the way and pay the landowner later. Property options, therefore, are about buying time, and time is your absolute best friend. Now, let me kind of show you how that works. Typically, let's say you find the property that you want to use an option on, and it's an old renovator. So you come along, you go to the bank, you got borrowing to go through, you got stamp duty to go through, you got your renovation cost to go through, and generally when you add up all of those costs, it breaks the whole feasibility study. So 95% of renovators are just broken before you even start. But let's say we flip that around now. Now let's bring in the property option strategy. So we go to the property owner who's selling that property. It's a renovator. It just needs a cosmetic renovation. Nothing structural, no big work, just a lick and a bit of carpet and making it work that way. And we come along then and we offer the property owner $80,000 more than the property's worth. Why? Because we've done a feasibility study, and the feasibility study showed that after renovation, that property is going to be $195,000 more than it sits on the market right now. How do we do that? We do a feasibility study. So now we've got $195,000 after renovation. We offer the property owner $80,000 more, but we buy time, 6 to 12 months. We come along then, we just do our cosmetic renovation. We sell that property, and we haven't even bought that property yet. It's still in the current owner's name. We sell that property, we realize our additional profit of $195,000. The property owner got $80,000. We earn $195,000 less the cost that we've given the property owner. So we come out with a profit of $115,000. Sure, we still got a cosmetic reno, but we still walk away with $70,000 to $80,000 on that project, and we didn't have to buy that property at all. No stamp duty, no pain, no difficulty. Now, let me bring you in to another scenario. Say I teach you now how to professionally research qualified developers who we know are looking for a development site. Let's just use an example. Let's say it's a 4,000 meter square site. The developer's ready to get into his next development. We come along, we use our research, and we're going to locate that site for them. We find a site. It's a 4,000 square meter site. It's on the market for $900,000. We go to the property owner and we say, property owner, we're going to offer you $1.1 million for your $900,000 property, but we just want time in exchange. So he exchanges time for money. Now everybody's happy. We're all in the deal. We come along and we put our DA in place. We get our DA in place. And as you know, when you have a DA on a small property like this, well then the value is inflated immediately straight away. We're going to make money in that. Now we do our research and we see that this property is now worth $1.6 million after a DA is in place. We come along and we go back to the developer. We show him the DA is in place. The value of the property is $1.6 million, but we're going to sell it to him for $100,000 less. He's going to get that property for $1.5 million. We take our $1.5 million, we've paid for a DA, we walk off then, we pay the property owner his $1.1 million. That leaves a profit of over $300,000 just using this simple strategy called property options. Did you see how we put all of that together for those two little projects that I just spoke to you about, and see the immense profit that's just in those? I can show you dozens of ways how to do this strategy called property options. Long options, short options, realignment of a lot, joint venturing, whatever it might be. There's many, many ways to do it. And the key and the art is perfecting this whole system. Because if you go to a property developer or if you go to a property owner and you're mumbling and you're fumbling and you don't understand your documents, it's deal over. That's where I come in. You find a lot, you find the land, you find the land parcel. I teach you all of that research. Then I come along and I sign that whole deal up. We put that whole deal together, and no matter which way that we profit from that property option, you take 70% of the profit and we take 30% of that profit. And just imagine then how that drills down on your whole mortgage and how that completely changes your whole financial landscape. Connect with me, I'll show you how to get started.